get a lot of scammers. You never know if your item's going to get returned in the original condition that you sent it, or if you're actually going to get that item back. Facebook Marketplace provides a different level of trust. Not only do the buyers get to see me, but I get to see my sellers. So I know that if I'm meeting up with somebody who might be on the little off side, to be prepared for that. But yeah, it's more or less, why not? The ease of posting things and the ease of communicating with people. There are other platforms where the apps constantly lag, or you're not able to immediately respond to your potential buyers, and it's easy, very easy.
I agree. My first thing is free, so why not? And they have a ton of people that are on Facebook, so I don't want to miss an opportunity to do something with my business that I couldn't do otherwise. But I absolutely love it, like I stated before, and I definitely encourage people to go on and sell. Even if you're just beginning, sell. Just get on there and try something. Like she stated, people will buy anything. I sold a vintage wood ski machine and shipped it to Canada. That's how bad they wanted it. So you think that what you have may be something silly, it may be something that someone's looking for, and then you get a lot of movie sets. They're always needing props. So you could have something in your closet your mom gave you think is really nothing, but someone's looking for that item. They're always looking for it. So that's what I've learned in the thrifting business, that you have to sell everything. You have to be what they need. And Facebook makes that possible for us to do that at no charge. And there are some sites that take forever to upload pictures, forever. If you have 12 pictures to upload, forget about it. You'll be there all day. I mean, with Facebook, it's instant. As soon as you put it on there, it's up, it's gone. Put your description in, copy, paste, go to your groups. Like you stated earlier, you have groups, so it's not just Marketplace. You can post in your groups, and I'd like to post in both because you don't want to miss anyone. You have groups that have 40,000, 100,000 members. Well, they're not going to be as large as Marketplace, so you want to make sure you post in both. Just go over and post in both of them. So I love it, and that is not capable. You don't have that service with any other platform, so I love it.
And I actually want to add to that too, because I was speaking earlier, and I forget who I was talking to, but I was talking about how, I have my laptop and I have my iPad, which I almost never use anymore. Almost everything is done from my phone. And the ease of use for Marketplace, I stand in my own warehouse space, and it's just a very small, sort of enclosed storage space. I stand there and I just have a place I can take a picture of a box, or I unbox something, put it together, I take a picture of something, or I take several angles. I could do screenshots if I really want a great description from other online retailers, if I need something specifications. And I literally can just, in 30 seconds or less, I can go beep, 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 right down my phone and have a copy and paste thing in my notes ready to go. And it's so simple. I mean, I've trained my teenagers to do it for me at this point.
Awesome. Well, switching gears, what is your least favorite feature about Facebook Marketplace?
I think
you won't hurt anyone.
I'll let her go first this time. I feel like I know this one. You go first this time.
Let's see, my least favorite thing.
Is this available?
My least favorite would be that you have some buyers, unfortunately, that are not serious. That has nothing to do with Facebook, because you're just open to the general public, but you have a lot of serious buyers and you have some that are not serious. And unfortunately, you have guys that stalk your page, and that's a bad thing. And we try to report that, but there's kind of no way to stop that. If I say my least favorite thing would be that, but in hindsight of that, at least you get to see their profile before you go out and meet them. You get to look through their page, so you can tell if it's a page that's not really a real page. You can tell this is a person that actually may be who they say they are. So my least favorite thing would be that. That's all I have.
My least favorite thing, I would have to say, would be not exactly knowing why somebody has rated you, whether it's a poor rating or a negative rating, but more so it could be somebody that you didn't even sell an item to. They said, is this available? And you said, yes, it is available. And then they never responded, but yet they think that you didn't respond quick enough. So then they give you a negative rating, and you didn't even sell the product to that person. I think that ratings are extremely important because it creates that trust from the buyer to be able to purchase from you. So I'm hands down all for ratings, but I think that it should be somebody who's actually physically buying the product.
To kind of go off that a little bit, because I've had issues where I do a lot of heavy stuff, so I do a lot of like bigger items, and I've had people where I say no holds or first come first served. I'll even say I'll hold it with a payment of some type. But I've had people who have said, oh, well, I have cash and I'm coming, I'll mark it as pending, and then they just sort of disappear. So the only thing I would be cautionary, I guess, about not having rating is, if somebody's a no-show enough for people, I'd probably want to know that as a seller somehow. So maybe as long as like, there was a pending status change or something. But the least favorite thing has got to be that, is this available button.
It's also my least
I mean, if you sell anything on Facebook and the instant you post something, and if you sell, yes, there's 27, and usually they just do it sometimes just to save the item. I would love actually feature-wise to have, I know there's a save feature for them, but for them to know, like, hey, by the way, maybe we just need to educate that this will be in your certain save section if you just hit the save button instead of the is this available button. But yeah, I think there's some complexities right now that are just showing up because people have taken to it so much. So I think anything that's negative is just growing pains.
Yeah, may I say something? Because that's a great point that you made. It's still not my least favorite, but I do want to comment on it because I am a reseller and I have people that have purchased items and people that are not showing up for the items. So what ends up happening with the rating is they will, let's say if it's a sofa set, I'm a thrift store, I'm not going to have 20 of the same item. I'm going to have one of that item, maybe two. But when it comes to furniture, I'm only going to have one. So that person may have asked if it were available at 9 a.m., someone else asked at 7, someone else asked at 5. And I am the type of person that if it goes off at 3, I'm answering it. I'm just very prompt like that. However, the person at 7 didn't show up, the person at 9 said I'll be there in 15 minutes. The person at 7 is angry because the person at 9 got it. Well, I also let people know that you can pay via Facebook. So you can hold that item. You can definitely hold that item if you're really interested in it. So that person did not show up on time or they didn't show up at all. Now they've rated me and they've stated, oh, well, she sold it to someone else over me. Now I do feel that's unfair because we stated we only had one, we gave you options, and they were able to rate us. Now I don't think they should be able to rate us if they did not purchase that item. So that is still not my least, but it is one of the worst things that I would say for it, reselling that. What happened to us, we'll get bad ratings for that.
Yeah.
I would add to that new rating system, which I do love, 5 stars. If it's set up similarly to how the page or a location is rated, where you have the option to respond to a negative, that would be ideal just because I think it would also add a layer of protection, or be able to explain a situation, or at least say, hey, I'm sorry you had this experience, please reach out to me via, a private message or something, and we'll try to make something right for you.
No, that's great feedback. I'll definitely pass that on to the product team. What has been your most memorable marketplace sale?
Okay, I'll go first. Most memorable marketplace sale. We go. My husband and I will go to auctions and we buy pallets of things. We usually don't dabble into home improvement things or home goods because it's just uncharted territory for me. I'm like, it's a level, $20. I don't know. But we came across 3 pallets of kitchen cabinets, and I said, you know what the hell? Let's see what happens. So we bought 3 pallets of kitchen cabinets. We paid $180 for all 3 pallets and sold them within probably 10 hours for $2,000. Wow! So that was the most memorable moment. So
She's now buying cabinets everywhere for us.
I am. From then on, I'm like, a boat lift? Okay, let's see if it works. So when I say we sell anything and everything.
All right, mine, I know earlier I kind of talked about some crazy things I've sold. Once was a piece of artwork that I tried to take to gallery after gallery after gallery after gallery, and nobody would even take it on commission. And I put it on Marketplace, and boom, amazing, sold it. The other memorable thing was I just moved, and I had appliances actually that were used out of my house, and I had 3 in the kitchen that I was not gonna use anymore, so I said, well, I'll just group these 3 together, took pictures of them, and sure enough, literally an hour and a half later, I mean, and tons of messages, $900 for 3 used appliances. Perfect, sold. So, pretty good. Sold and bought and hauled out. I didn't have to do anything. They came and got it.
My most memorable moment is a couple in their mid-20s that were married with 4 kids. The husband did not have a job for a while. The wife was supporting the family, and they had an apartment they'd been in for a year with no furniture. The only furniture they had was a bedroom set, which was the bedroom set for the parents, and the kids all slept there. So when the husband finally got a job, they saw something I posted on Facebook Marketplace for sale. They called and asked about it. It was available, and they ended up doing more shopping in the store, and I was able to help them furnish their home that they had not had furniture in for a year. And the kids, and not only did I help furnish, I deliver it. We deliver most of our things too. And the kids were so happy to have a living room set. They were just bouncing up and down. They were so happy. And it just, I had to leave. I had to go out into my van. And I think I sat there like 10 minutes and cried while my guys were delivering the rest of the furniture. But that was my most memorable, to be able to help a family, truly help a family, and see how this helps them. It's just, that's my most memorable.
I will add to that. That's so wonderful, and maybe you've seen that too with liquidations. Because when I did the hotel liquidations and everything, it's amazing to me the broad cross section of people you're able to meet, and to know that sometimes what you're doing, you know, like a lot of times it's the same thing. If you've met people and one little sale of $5, then you're like, oh, they tell you their story. I have had my own personal sort of traumas before in my life, and you end up making a new friend, which is kind of crazy. They come to pick something up, and you're like, oh, well, thank you so much, and then you start talking to them, and then you end up truly having a very emotionally connected sort of conversation, and you're able to sort of reach out beyond Marketplace. So it's not just about selling things. I mean, that's phenomenal, don't get me wrong, but it's about really connecting to the community and connecting to one another.
Well, I have more questions, but I'd love to open it up to the audience if anyone wants to ask them.
No questions, but you guys inspired me. I just posted my first book on my
Congratulations. Is that a book?
It's a book.
Yes. Anyone else? All right, I'll keep going. Oh.
To you who do the hotel liquidations, do you have a group that you created? Or
I'm sorry, do I have a group that?
Did you like create a group, or you just listed under your name, or what? How we doing?
Well, with the hotel, when I do the hotel liquidations, I actually do have a Facebook page that I have grown. So again, it was sort of organic for me. I started in 2013 with the store, and but now I just do it. When I post items, even from the warehouse, my face has always been attached to the store. My face has always been. I was an early adopter. I was telling her earlier. I was basically just telling you that I used Facebook Live the second that it came out. I did it for my page. I did it for my store. I walk people through my store. So my face has always been associated with that business. So just using Marketplace with my face attached was not a big stretch for me or a gigantic leap. So now I just post it under my name. And then a lot of times, because I do have it, if it's from the store specifically instead of something I'm selling, a lot of times I'll just copy and paste something that, oh, by the way, if you're looking for any other items, just check our other items out on the profile and you know, a little more information below.
So you have a store, and then you have a Facebook business and a personal account, and you'll list them on both, or what?
No, I just use my personal. Yeah, I just use my personal. I mean, I'll share the posts on my Facebook page. So like if I have, for example, if you can post in groups, or you can take and share the link. So a lot of times if I've made a post and I know that it's going to be applicable to the group for the hotel liquidations, I'll share that on that page where I have all my group, you know, where I have all my subscribers or page likers or whatever you want to call them. But, and then that way they can share it or comment on it and ask as well if they have any questions.
So I was just saying that this is almost like garage sale on steroids. So, for the individual person who wants to sell, use the marketplace to sell used items and things like that, what would be, I guess, from all three of you, some advice on the best way to get started?
Just post it.
Post it.
Post it. The first person
Right
that
now.
says I want it, sell it. Don't wait around. Somebody says they want to buy something, it's done. Sell it. Yeah, it's really easy and it's really addicting.
Okay.
Her house is empty.
I'm gonna confess something here, and you guys can. I'm gonna confess something right now, and then what's gonna happen is I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot for it later. I actually have, you know, Nintendo thumb. For some of you who might be old enough to know what that is.
Yeah.
I have Facebook, I have Facebook Marketplace thumb right now because I scroll through whenever I'm bored. I scroll through and I look at listings. I look through, you know, other people's listings. I have even taken to, in times of, I have a pickup truck, which in Nashville is not unheard of, but I have an old farm truck, pickup truck, and I have actually hauled things away from people, stuck them in my warehouse, cleaned them up, turned around and sold them. So it's amazing what you can do. You really don't have to have anything, or you don't have to start with anything. You just have to post it. You know, you can go get something literally that people don't want anymore.
And I'll add, if I don't know what you're selling, but
So my mother has tons of clothes, designer clothes with labels that she's never worn.
Okay.
And I just want to help her
yes.
get this stuff out of the house.
Okay, so does she have a room in the house that you guys are not using?
She does.
Okay, awesome.
She has a room that's a closet.
Okay, well, awesome. Awesome. So that's what you want to do. You want to go in that room where it's not being used. You don't want anything else in there with it. You just want to post. You want to get clear, good lighting. You want to get good lighting as good as you can, because sometimes it just won't get as good as theirs. It's just not going to happen. But try to get as much natural lighting as you can. Join some Facebook groups. So I don't know if it's plus size, if they're regular size, but just start going to Facebook Marketplace. Just go on Facebook and start looking up groups that are associated with whatever it is that you're selling. Are they vintage items? Is it vintage clothing? What's the name of the clothing? You want to try to go to all of those groups and join as many of those groups as you can, because they're free to join. You can even start your own group, but just start posting it. And if it starts to get a little out of hand, or she wants to totally separate from it, a secret that I have as a thrift store owner is go to a climate control unit, storage unit, climate control with lighting. That is a plus. With lighting, it's free for the first 30 days. You just pay for an administration fee of maybe $20 to $24. And if you have insurance, you can transfer your own insurance. You don't have to purchase theirs. But you just want to try it out first to see if you can sell as much as you can in the first 30 days. And if that works for you, then guess what? You're now a reseller. Okay.
And quick plug, as you create a listing, you can actually, as you add photos, you can use different filters. It's never going to be as good as really good natural lighting, but you can use filters to make it look better. And then as you complete the listing creation, it'll actually auto-suggest groups for you that you can join and add to. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible to post.
Thank you, ladies.
Another question over there.
There's a question over there first, and then we'll come to you.
eBay. Sold. That's what you have to do. It depends on what it is. Go to eBay, type in whatever it is that you're selling, go to sold. It doesn't matter what someone's asking. You can ask $1 million. It's only worth what someone's willing to pay for it. So eBay is the rule of thumb that we use for posting an item, and you can just about find everything on eBay that has been sold. I know a lot of people use, excuse me, Amazon. I hope that's okay to say. I'm sorry, but oops, you know, but they do. But eBay is more user friendly. Okay, so just go in there. If it is a iPhone 7, you just want to type that in, and then you want to go to sold or completed. Just slide the tab over, and it'll tell you the recent sales, when they sold, what day, how much it sold for, so you can get an idea of how much you can charge for your item. And if you want to sell it, just go a little bit lower. Otherwise, you'll sit on it for a little longer.
Is there a place I can find somebody?
Everyday
There are consignment. There are consignment shops. There are consignment shops that will take most items. It just depends on what it is. They won't take anything. But you have, if it's clothing, there's a consignment place for that. If it's electronics, there's consignment places for that. If they're high-end purses, there's consignment places for that. And typically, they'll either do 50-50 split with you, or either they'll do like a 40-60 or something like that. It just depends on where you go. And you want to go somewhere that is going to sell your item. Okay, so I can talk to you afterwards if you want me to. Depending on what it is that you have, I can recommend some places for you.
College student.
Yeah.
College student. Make a friend with a college student or an intern. Yeah. If you, and you know what, truthfully, if there are colleges nearby, there's a whole lot of business students, and if you make a phone call, you can even put a post up just looking, in groups, looking for a college student who's willing to help you for a fee, help you, manage it. I mean, you can find somebody online to manage just about anything these days.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, if you're willing to pay for that service, sure, why not?
There was a question over there, yeah.
I have two questions. The first one is, to be clear, when you list an item in Marketplace, who actually sees it? Is it the people that you're members of groups, or what? Who, is it by county, zip code, or what?
Individually set though. Well, it's available for anybody to see on who's on Marketplace, depending on what their settings are. I think up to 100 miles, I believe.
Yeah, the default is the location of the person and a 100-mile radius. But they can change that radius, but that's usually where.
So how would being a member of a group help with the Marketplace? How does that?
I was like, yeah. It helps me. Okay.
So what we do is when we list our items, we also have a Facebook group, but when we list our items at the very bottom of our listings, we say to follow our inventory or to see what else we have in stock, join our Facebook group. So anytime that we sell to somebody and they maybe didn't read the whole description, because we all know that happens, I say, hey, we're a part of we have a Facebook group. If you want to keep up with our inventory, I'll send an invite and then they'll join the group that way.
So it's to help you sell other items down the road.
Yeah, and to create repeat customers. I mean, there's been tons of items that I've sold and they come right back where they message me, hey, I'm looking for a platform bed. Do you have any in stock? And I may not have any right then, but I know who my source is and who I can go to and say, hey, you got any beds? I need to sell one. So.
And also, I'm sorry. Also with the groups, you have to be invited into those groups. So someone has to invite you into the group there. And most times it needs approval, but not always. So that's another difference in Marketplace. When you put it in Marketplace, anyone can see it. But in order for it to go into a particular group, for that group to see it, you have to be a member of that group. So either someone in that group has to invite you in, or you have to request to be invited into that group. And that group, once again, could have 110,000 members in that group. And that's 110,000 members that may not be looking at Marketplace, but may be looking at Marketplace. So that's the difference.
And if I can quickly, Julie, jump in, I just want to clarify a couple of things. Like, there are two different ways that Marketplace sellers use groups. One is the one that Jennifer mentioned, which is they create their own group for their own customers and invite, let's say, 1,000 customers and share their own products into that group. So it's like a seller run. One seller runs their group for their own customers. There's also what's called a buy-sell group, which could have 100,000 people, and it's usually around a topic. Let's say like moms selling used kids clothing. And then that's open to all buyers and all sellers. You still have to be part of the group, but you can post into it, and that's a much broader, and that's more like a market, almost like a marketplace where people meet versus me as a seller growing my own audience. So these are two different types of ways you can use groups.
And then the other question I have concerned, when you're listing on eBay, you gotta be very careful when you're selling something to say you have to pay for shipping, no returns. I don't want anybody outside of kind of the U.S. What kind of protective wording do you use when you put ads in Marketplace so that you minimize bad reviews you might get?
The default for me at least, and I think it's been the default for a lot of people, is most things on Marketplace, unless you are selling a brand new product, like with the shipping and everything, the default has generally been that it's, you're buying something and somebody's buying something from you and you're selling it, there's not necessarily anything associated with that. It's basically a very simple cash transaction, or a very simple, you know, online transaction where it's, they buy it, they pay. There's not a return policy in place for almost everything. Secondly, you know, they're there to inspect it. In most cases, it's a local pickup. So if they decide they don't want it, then they just don't buy it.
So it's pretty much, you only deal with, in your case, you only deal with picking up.
Yes, I don't ship right now. I don't ship almost anything. Right. Yeah.
So we're,
We-
1 minute, we have 1 minute left.
Okay.
Please, Jennifer. Yeah.
So we actually, sometimes we'll sell things that are already assembled, or like we get an item and the box has been damaged. So we open those boxes and inspect the item, and then we may or may not assemble it, just depending on the damage of the box. And we tell our buyers, hey, you know, if it's already assembled, it's as is, you see exactly what you're getting. If you get a box and a part doesn't fit right when you assemble it, you have 24 hours. Give us a call. We can try to either find a part to replace it. We may have one you know, that we've cannibalized to create another one, or you know, we'll give you your money back. So, because I know what it's like to be burned on Marketplace and you spent $60 on something, and you're like, oh, that was crap. You know, we don't want to do that to people.
So we have to wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining our wonderful sellers. Let's give them a round of applause. And really appreciate it. It's been great to get to know you today, and I hope we stay in touch.